Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a raid Shadow Legends video. I feel like I could make about 40 videos today. There is tons of stuff going on in this game, which is pretty exciting. First one I want to talk about today then is going to be the Fusion. So I briefly went through what this new Fusion champion looks like. Force affinity, super high base stats. We'll go back over that soon. I'm just running my 30 auto runs through 12, not 12 free, through 2 free I think it is. Brutal. Just with my farmer, it's taking literally seconds, 6 seconds a run. It's a good way to farm up units that you're trying to improve anyway. So for me, you know, I do this kind of daily stuff anyway. But what do I think then? What do I think about this whole Skullsworn plague, you know, trying to get these drakes? I guess personally, so I've got 1 drake already built. I had a spare one in the vault. So I've got 2 drakes. So personally, I'm halfway there, which is lucky. Probably unusual, I guess, compared to others. I had 1 Skullsworn in the vault as my sort of single copy rare that I keep. So I need to get another 7. And 7 feels pretty achievable, actually. 7 feels pretty achievable in a reasonable amount of time. I'm going to see how many I get from this first 30 farms, which is going to be, you know, a good chunk of energy to use at the start of the day. I do think playing we're going to be doing a drop of energy later today. They've kind of hinted at a freebie coming today, so it'll be interesting to see if that is a big chunk of energy to help people through this, because it's going to take a lot of energy, guys. There's, you know, if you're farming the full 16 or even 12, let's say you've got 1 drake in the vault because you've been able to keep hold of an epic you've had before, I think you're going to be using the best part of maybe 15,000 energy, which is a lot. It's a lot of energy. You've got 3 weeks to do it. So if you were thinking about how much do I get as energy refills a day, you know, using the various stuff that's going on, I still think you need to invest gems or be super lucky on RNG. I'll show you on my first 30 runs how many did I actually get just in a second once we finish these next couple of runs. I've had some people message me already and say, do you think they've put the rates up? And I've had other people say, do you think they put the rates down? And both of those messages are about somebody that pulled a lot very quickly. So somebody pulled 7 without using too much energy, and it was just like, wow, this is going to be easy. But somebody else who said, I've used 1,000 energy and I didn't get any. So it's RNG, guys. What would I have done? So what I wish they'd done, I just literally thought about this for 30 seconds earlier today. It would have been so cool for me if they'd kind of labelled it as, you know, that's what I get here. I actually got 1. I got 1 in my first 30 runs, and I used 240 energy. That's probably pretty good RNG, actually. So 1 out of 240 energy. It's probably too small a sample size, so I'll keep running this through today. I'll drop a note in my community chat on YouTube or my Discord just to let you know how I'm going. But I'm going to be farming up some guides anyway, so that's not such a big deal for me. But yeah, what I wish they would have done then is sort of had it as a, you know, there's a plague. Yes, there's a plague of Skullsworn. Why is this not coming off? There's a plague of Skullsworn, and they're everywhere in the game. Yeah. So I wish they would have done. I don't even know if it's come up as a. It's come up as a news feature now. Yeah. So I wish they'd basically put them everywhere. The same drop rate in any dungeon. The same drop rate in any campaign level, the same drop rate in the arena. Literally just done it like you know, the game has been plagued and Skullsworn is the plague. And you can literally, because at the moment in my head I'm thinking, yeah, it's free to play friendly to a degree, but that's a ton of energy or a lot of good RNG to do it. But you know, we all get free arena tokens a day. Some people may absolutely just need to be doing Minotaur because that's where their progress should be. So why not just kind of think of it just slightly differently, open the game up in a slightly different way, make it available for anyone, anywhere, maybe increase the drop rate slightly so that it is a bit more free to play friendly. We do have 3 weeks, guys. So, you know, if I was to pull 1 a day, I just pulled 1 a day there with my daily energy. If I was to pull 1 a day over 3 weeks, I've done it as a free to play player. It might just be like I got super lucky that set of 30 runs. I don't know really. I think, does it even tell us? Let me just see. I think it might tell us the percentage to drop, does it? I'm sure I've seen it somewhere as on like a little tooltip. Where have I seen it? I feel like it's something like 2% chance to drop. I'm trying to remember where I've seen it. Is it here? No. Don't know where I've seen it. I'm sure I've seen it something like a 2% chance to drop, which is low, obviously. I might be making it up. Guys, if you absolutely know that for sure, comment below, because I may be making that stuff up. But anyway, what do you get then for this champion? A few people have come back to me after my video yesterday and have said Skullsworn is actually pretty cool. So for those that don't know him, he's been around for a while, so you should do. Al Ali Plays did a kind of spotlight on Skullsworn a while ago, about 4 months ago. A few people are kind of referencing that as a good video to watch, so check out his channel. I'll put a link below to that video so that you can check it out. I'm going to be looking myself today. But this guy then becomes, or maybe I should show the main guy first, because what's the reason for showing him? I'll just show his passive quickly. Revives Skullsworn with 50% HP and 50% turn meter at the start of each turn. If there are multiple on the team, only revive one. So that rare that I just pulled up will get revived every single turn that he dies when Skull goes. Which, the more I'm thinking of it, the more you can use it for a bit of a cool sort of setup for faction wars, for Fire Knights. You could probably do some pretty fun troll stuff in the arena, in Clan Boss potentially. So there's probably some fun stuff you can do with this. Because what you can actually do, you don't need to worry so much about some of the sort of more base stats like defense and HP that you'd normally worry about. And he's got a really good base attack, terrible base speed, absolutely shocking base speed. But you might be able to just throw him in some crazy OP damage gear. He's got an ability here that fills his own turn meter when he does damage, when he hits crits, sorry. No, it's not. Fills this champion's turn meter by 15% on crits. Fills this champion's turn meter by 50% if he kills someone. Sorry. So if he crits and kills, he's not far off having another turn, actually, which could be pretty mental. So that sounds quite fun. So if you stack him up with damage, and then put him with the other legendary champion, the Skull Lord, then he could be pretty insane. I'm quite keen to try it now. Now I've been thinking about it, I'm quite keen to try it. 20% chance to do an extra hit as well on this A1. And on this A2, he's got an increased speed on himself and places counter attack on himself. I don't know if that's going to be super relevant if you do that type of build. I think it's going to be a case of you load him up with damage, and then his buddy picks him up. He gets 50% turn meter. He fills the rest of his turn meter, and then he absolutely nukes a team, or nukes a single unit. So I don't know. I'm sure there's something gimmicky we can do with it. I wish someone actually mentioned it on my Discord or perhaps on my YouTube the other day. Basically saying, I wish they'd done it for a selection of Lizardmen, and that would have been pretty fun. But I guess maybe a bit too OP. But almost like a passive revives a Lizardman each turn or something like that. I think it's probably too OP, but it would have been really fun. But anyway, what does this guy do then? He has got this A1 with a double hit, which can fill his own turn meter. So a bit like that previous champ we just looked at, Skullsworn. Got a chance to put this heal reduction on if you repeat the skill. It's a bit too RNG for me. I don't love that they've done that. I've gone through this in detail in another video. Gets a strengthen. This is what I like about his kit. Strengthen debuff, a strengthen buff on a 2-turn cooldown and a chance to provoke. So you can literally single target one person in the enemy team, whether it be faction wars, arena, whatever. Provoke them into you. You've got strengthen on yourself, so you take 25% less damage as a base. Doesn't matter if it's crits, doesn't matter what it is, 25% less damage. It's a huge buff. And then puts decreased attack on everybody with the A3 on an AoE, and this hits pretty hard from what I've seen so far. You've then got this one, which I just don't like. When attacked, you decrease the attacker's max HP by 5%. You can't do it by more than 50. It doesn't work against bosses. Only works once per attack. And then there's a chance if you reduce somebody's by 20%, you can start putting True Fear out. Now, it's got to be a pretty long fight to make that work. But in my head, where would I use him? I am absolutely certain that he's going to be a really cool arena defense champion. Look at these base stats. They are insane. They're off the scale. You've got 90 resistance is unheard of unless you're a dwarf. 70 accuracy is unheard of. 107 speed is really high. Great base defense. Great base HP. I am just thinking you load this guy with resistance, with defense, with HP, with some speed, and then he just tanks it up for you all day long. Maybe you pair him with, like a really tanky Arbiter. Maybe you pair him with people like Tormund, Rotus, people that can take a hit, Mountain Kings. Those people that take a hit. He is just there laughing all day long. I'm quite keen to try that. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on the whole Skullsworn thing. Do you think it's reasonable for a free-to-play or completely unreasonable? 3 weeks is a long time, I guess, but you do have to also get all of the Ascension mats together. So don't forget you need Red Days, which is Friday, a couple of days from now, and you also need Green for the Drake. Green's probably even harder because that's going to be where you need your big version pots, big boy pots, yeah? And you're going to need a ton of the Arcane Keep. So bear that in mind as well if you're going to go for this. I'm definitely going to go for it. I'll get them as quickly as I can, and I'll try and test them out for you guys. But yeah, let me know what you think. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you all soon.